I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, gentlemen, let's work.
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Welcome. Mic check, 1, 2, Mic check, 1, 2. Confirmation on the mic. Oops. Always give visual confirmation on the mic. Here we go. Everybody see it? If something changes, it's not my fault. Alright. I must inform you all that since the last stream, I have done what they call hello work. We've made some good progress. Getting deep into Mandalore now. And by deep, I mean still before the base, but check this out. Check it out. Just preparing my screen. Alright, check it out for real. Whoosh, freak. What is this? Yeah, I knew I was missing a file. Where is that? Son of a gun. Why would that not... How would that get moved? It's just an audio track. I can download that real quick. Double signet. What chapter is that? Volume 1. I had one file that didn't get brought over. So I do like half my work on a laptop. Half my work on this computer. So I'm constantly like moving around external hard drives. Sometimes I just misplace a file. Sup, SWA? Yes, hello, Shoya. Hello, Auric. Hello, SWA. Thanks for joining. Good to see you again. Okay, it's in. Now this should... The freaking connect. Oh, I bet that's... I bet that's why. It's looking for an M4A, and I have an MP3 of it, which should still be fine. Just chuck it in there. What do you mean? VP9? What? The heck is that? Alright. Alright. Check the levels. Cool. Okay, if you recall, at the end of last stream, I think we were just beginning to work through some of this. This was in like super rough beta form. I've got it into like very close to finished beta form now. I'm going to give a brief overview and then might dive into a few scenes because I've made like 15 plus minutes of progress in this film. And I'm really happy with a lot of what I've been able to do here. So let's go back even to the little stuff. I talked about this a long time ago. This is probably like 4 or 5 streams ago. That I hated this transition in the show. So you get your little goofy bit, and then you get one of these like speed wipes, and it's just it was really just, it made this whole scene feel like out of place. So instead of that, I once mentioned, hey, you open up with like a fire over here with something cooking. Wouldn't it be nice to see like an alien? So I kind of have Grogu like, I extended this shot out so the camera just zooms in on him more, and it's like he's staring at this fire, and I would like to do like little fire flame reflections in here. That's the last thing I want to do on this. But he does his little comedy bit. Din goes, "This isn't working for me," walks away. Then you have Grogu turn and look, and he's like still staring at food, which is a pretty in-character thing for Grogu to do. And then you can just have a simple transition into the other fire. Just any sort of unified. Place that one. It's a little crackly. I'll replace that later. Throw a check mark there. I meant to do that. Re-record that line. I got a better voice model for this guy, and I just hadn't replaced that one yet. SWA says, for some reason, I can't get any emails from YouTube of what someone commented on my video or replied. I don't know if I can be much help there. I don't normally rely on the emails for that. What I do to manage is I go into the YouTube studio and then go to community, and then it shows all your comments and which ones, if you respond to it, which I try to do for most of them, if you respond, then if you respond to something, then it takes it out of this list. So this is kind of how I manage. I try and respond to like pretty much as many as I can. Okay. Okay, so I gotta redo that guy's voice. I might even lip sync it. If I just time it up, it's pretty close. Because he's saying onward Mandalorian. And for him to say Oya Mando Ade. Onward Mandalorian. Or I can make him go Oya Mando Ade. So it should be pretty close. I think I can match it up. I just had to do that line. Okay, then, yeah, we went through this. Did I can't remember if I had revoiced. Instead of Din, like, acting like a complete moron about his own culture's rules, asking if he should interfere and end the duel, and Bo's like, no, you're not allowed to do that. It was bound to happen sooner or later, is what she says in the show. I change it so you get more like self-awareness from Din. I mean, Dank Ferrick, he's like, already? That didn't take long for them to start fighting. And now Din doesn't look like an idiot. Now it looks like he's aware of the situation. He knows that he can't just interrupt a duel. And then I cut the one Bo's line, so now it's bound to happen sooner or later. So she's like, well, let's just get this out of the way. So that whole, like, that whole feeling of those 5-10 seconds is completely changed now, so Din doesn't seem stupid. Combat edits, I left the same. I watched it back. I'm happy with the work we did on the other one. Okay, so we get through. Then I revoiced this whole thing at the end here. I can't. So she would normally say, "You taught your apprentice well," which I thought was odd to call him your apprentice. So now I have her say,
"Luke taught your foundling well."
Luke taught your foundling well. I haven't lip synced to that yet. I found a new way to lip sync, and I'll get to show you some of it later, and it looks a lot better. Yeah, I should be able to lip sync this really good. So she's going to go, Luke taught your foundling well. She knows who Luke Skywalker is. She knows that Grogu was with Luke Skywalker. And she calls him Grogu a foundling instead of an apprentice, which is much more Mandalorian-esque.
Well.
You certainly didn't learn that from me. Good job, kid.
Okay, so Din is very silent in this part, so I just added those lines for him. And now you get, like, a good job, kid, and a nod back from his son, which I thought was kind of sweet. So then we move into a long section of Mandalore. And I'll probably just let this run. I'll let you see what I've done. This is, you know, it's in the beta stage, but it's a little different tone on her storytelling compared to the show. I thought about even going with a radical edit and kind of changing some of the events, but, you know, in the show, I think they present Bo as just like, they make it a little less forgivable. To me, when I watched it, I'm like, shoot, like what you're confessing is going to turn everybody against you. Like they didn't make it very sympathetic, so I at least added some of the flavor in there. Of like, I did this because Gideon said he wouldn't bomb the civilian city centers. Like I knew we lost. I didn't want kids to die, just to give her some sort of sympathy with the audience. Kind of just change the tone of the conversation, make it a little bit more somber. I changed the back and forth with the armor and the other Mandalorians. So big picture the same. I think the feeling of the whole thing is quite different now. So yeah, that's all pretty good. That they pronounce the C, K, like ch. Like Kieta sounds like cheta. Seta. It should be a soft C. Kui, they say chewy sometimes. Yeah, we'll chalk that up to local accents or something. You know, down south here in the U.S., they call, you know, what we Yankees call oil, they call ol. So there's going to be some of those things. That's my excuse, at least. Okay, now I completely 100% revoiced Din in this section. I haven't finished the sound blending or sound effects on his voice, so it's a little back and forth on how his voice sounds. But here's the new dialogue for Din.
Keshadlasa solos, kakanisa salos, ibika just.
Being a Mandalorian is not just learning about how to fight. You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy, because you never know where you might be headed next. This here is your hyperspace map. You determine your range by looking at your fuel gauge. And this
obviously the sound work is not done whatsoever. Nobody be commenting, oh, it sounds weird at your stream at 25:36 there was a sound glitch. I know, there's like 100 sound glitches, my friends. This is a storyboard. I wanted all my visuals in here. I got the right scene order. Haven't done any of the sound blending. That comes later. Do you see how many pieces I had to stitch up in here to pull that off? I'm switching between like 4 different episodes of ship flights. Bouncing around. So, I think that totally changes the entire tone of like the departure from Navarro. This I needed to punch in on. I'll color grade this to look like Navarro punched in. No one can tell. Okay, so also notice some of the sound cuts off abruptly here, but right as the soundtrack turns,
Ibika Just!
Being a Mandalorian's not just learning about how to fight. You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy.
see, like right as it hits Din's theme, it cuts back to them, and you get this little sweet lesson. Okay, we go here. I don't have any sound effects in this. There's just blaring soundtrack over this in the show, and I couldn't pull any of the sound effects out of it, so I need to find some other... This is a hard sound effect to find. I might have to make it manually and just time up as many ships come in, but you need like pop, 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 pop of all the ships coming. I mean, you got a lot. Like, there's like 20 ships here. So there's, 1, 2. Pop, pop, pop. So I need like that noise of like pop, 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 of how many? I mean, like 15 ships. So I have no sound there. And then, so Din's giving this lesson. He's going, and this is your hyperspace beacon. It shows this. And then he goes, and this, I'm going to cut here. Pop, 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 pop. They all come in. Okay.
This is Mandalore'n.
Okay, so once the sound's there, I want it to be very rhythmic. Because Din ends this saying, and this.
Your fuel gauge. And this.
Okay, see what I'm going for? Dun, 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 dun. Right as it says, and this. Dun, 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 dun. And you go pop, 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 pop. As all the ships come in, straight into, this is Mandalore'n. So it's kind of like he's been teaching Grogu through the entire hyperspace journey. I think that gives us a little passage of time that was lacking in this section. So you're able to insinuate, yeah, they were having, an instructional lesson during all that.
This is Mandalore'n. It looks scary, I know.
It's so odd. This section right here, where Din's talking in the original show, it does not sound like him at all. Like it had me like double checking if they got like a spare actor to record these lines, because it sounds so different. So I still have the original lines, but I had to I slowed them down, did a graphic equalizer, and had to pitch shift them down as well. And I think it sounds just like Din now, but before it didn't. It was like way too high-pitched, fast, soft. And I think I've made it sound a lot like Din now.
It looks scary, I know. But it was once green and beautiful, back when the songs were written. It's Mandalore, the homeworld of our people. Every Mandalorian can trace their roots back to this planet and the Beskar mines deep within. And you know what? I didn't even grow up there. I grew up there, on that moon, Concordia. And that's Kalevala, where Bo-Katan's palace was. It's in the same system. A Mandalorian has to understand.
Okay, so we're just continuing that lesson. I fixed the lines that were inconsistent where Din says he's never been to Mandalore before. because that scene is actually from like episode 2 of the season, where it is Din's first time in my series. He has been, so I changed his line from, and you know what? I've never even been there before. I changed that to, and you know what? I didn't even grow up there. He's talking about how, he says, you know, every Mandalorian can trace their roots to this planet, and you know what? I didn't even grow up there. So he's talking about that shared ancestry and history of the planet. This whole sequence here, this book 6 thing, is lagging so bad on the laptop. So I'm gonna be working off just a different sequence here, and then I'll combine them at the end when I go to export. This one is snappy. This other one is just so freaking massive now in the timeline. I'd try and do like one audio change, and I'd just get delayed for like 3 seconds. Like anything I want to move a clip like this, the laptop just couldn't handle it. So I'm, not that you guys care that much, but I'm moving to a new sequence. Editing stuff. Okay. Oh, who we got in here? Prisms, what's up? Hey, man. Can't stay long, but I saw Superman. Also, you're out of town and thrifted. Nice. What'd you buy? Nice to see you too. Thanks for dropping by for the little time you have. I also saw Superman. I really liked it. It's not a 9 out of 10 film. It's not. It's like a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. And it's I think it's good, classic, old school Superman. And they did a good job of like blending it with modern action movie tension. A little corny in a few places. Some parts were like good corny, other parts were like bad corny. But overall, I had a great time with it. I don't want to get into spoilers, but some of the other characters that show up in it, I thought were awesome. Kind of got me a little excited about DC for the first time, like ever, since I was a kid watching the cartoons. I was very pleased with it. Had a good time with that movie. Yeah, you gave it. You bought some movies. Nice. You give Superman a 9.5 out of 10. Dang. 2026 is Supergirl. Yeah, it definitely looked. Oh, I did not see the poster. Did they like officially? I know they teased it, but I didn't know they. Where is it? Is it this? Oh, here we go. Oh. Look, okay. Yeah, cool. I would definitely go see this too, just after seeing the Superman. Supergirl wasn't one of my main heroes growing up, but I know some of her arcs are pretty interesting. And then, I don't think the hero as a concept is interesting, but there are some a couple good stories with her. And the personality it looks like they're going for in the show, where she is that kind of like lookout, drunk type of superhero, kind of just like carefree, looking for her role as a contrast to Superman. I'm glad they're going with that version. Rather than some of the other ones that have been done that I think are kind of just derivative. Oh yeah, DC's got a little bit of life. I need to watch Peacemaker. SWA did not like Superman. You wanted it to be good, but it wasn't. The Supergirl movie will be the adaptation of Tom King's terrible Woman of Tomorrow. Oh, that's not good. Is that like confirmed? Much more hardcore version. Interesting. okay. I liked it. I mean, like I said, I give it like a 7.5. It definitely had its flaws. But I will say it made me feel something for Superman that I haven't felt since, like, gosh, 2004, 5, maybe even earlier, like 2003 to 5. I haven't felt an emotion about Superman since then. So props to the good parts of that movie that did do it to me. The conversation with his father was really touching. There were some good emotional beats in it. All right. To be fair, I don't know how parents will feel about taking their kids to a movie where the female role model is a drunk, but actually it's meant to be a redemption arc, and yes, it's confirmed. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow before it was retitled. Emotional dark fantasy epic. I'm not super familiar of Woman of Tomorrow. I just know there was like a Supergirl run that got a bad rap. So I mean they'll probably change a lot. It's got the cinematographer of Fallout. Cool. DC's got a little bit of life. Not much, but it got its. I mean, this was like do or die for them. I was more enthused. I thought that the promos for the Superman movie were kind of bad. I hate when they show like scene clips. That trend needs to die. I mean, that like sunk the rise of Skywalker. They were releasing like all the worst clips in the movie like as promos. When they do those, like, oh, I'm gonna show you 45 seconds out of context of this scene. What? Why? It gives everybody the wrong vibe. Fast tracking a Wonder Woman film. Dang. Oh, Infinite Possibility likes Woman of Tomorrow. Oh, okay. Look, it's back and forth. Jason Momoa is playing Lobo? Oh, dang. Superman should be stoic, not a crybaby. He gets beat up too much. There's a lot of payoffs without setup. Hawkgirl killed someone when she's supposed to try to be better. I kind of liked the odd thing. If this was like an earlier Superman, I think I would have liked it a little more. But this thing starts like 3.5 years after he's been like saving the world, and he's still like a little childish in some ways. I thought that gap was probably a little too long, but they needed time for like the Lex Luthor, Planet Watch thing to get set up and developed, and the rise to power and the political tensions. It wasn't like an amazing overarching story. I just liked the notes they hit for Superman. So, all right, Hawkgirl killed someone. Yeah, but I liked that. Admittedly, not a big Hawkgirl fan.
Scouting party descending to surface.
Okay, so again, I have combined like 4 different episodes for now the descent to Mandalore. So I'll just run through a lot of this because, basically I'm paralleling Bo-Katan flying down, which in the show, Din is in here. In mine, he's with Grogu, because I needed those touching moments on the way. And since we never used like this footage of Din and Grogu together on Mandalore, I have all this like unused footage that I haven't even repeated yet. So we get like the back and forth of the N1 flying down with the gauntlet flying down, and then I've got this all in Mandoa here. Not all, some of it. And then I haven't subtitled top, as in landing point. I didn't see that on the site. Where is that? I was searching like land. What does that like translate to? Is it on here? I just couldn't find it. Okay, Bo-Katan walks down. They walk. They walk, they walk, they walk. Okay, here was a major challenge in this show. They normally get to the Imperial base by riding on the boat. Then the giant monster comes out of nowhere. And then they all go flying. They like jetpack off into the cave. So like, just zooming ahead, the whole cave entrance of them entering the base is like, it's chaotic. The energy's really high. So there's like, there's no clean entrance of where they're going. If I cut out the entire thing, I would have to cut from here, just from them walking on like in the middle of nowhere on the surface. I'd have to cut all the way to at least here. Just like boom, no transition at all. I would just be like, what? When did they go in a cave or underground? What happened? So I was thinking, well, I mean, I can't use the boat because that thing isn't even on this planet in my edit, and that giant, just like whatever lizard kaiju that comes out of the ground, that was just stupid. So, well, what are my options? I'll show you my options in just a second. Couple chats. From Rusar to land. Rooftop. Oh, you just conjugated. Okay. So some of those rules I haven't learned how to do that myself yet. At the end of the day, SWA is not that excited for James Gunn's DCU. Infinite Possibilities coming into the #1 XP slot. Congratulations. The top fan of the stream. Look at that. Even though everybody's tied. #1. That's a good. Am I excited for James Gunn's DCU? I mean, I'm far more excited than Snyder's attempt. I mean, like, the newer DC stuff has been a little better from the Batman movie, which I didn't think was that great. I liked a lot of the mood. I didn't really like the third act at all. But I gave that movie like a 6.5. And then I've heard really good things about the Penguin show that's like a follow-up of that movie, and I know they're making a second movie. Look, growing up, I was always more into DC than Marvel. Marvel, I was like only a Spider-Man guy. A little bit of X-Men. And Deadpool, but I never was into like the Captain Americas and Iron Man's or Hulk. A little bit of Hulk, actually. I had a couple comics and video games of him. So really my first introduction to that was the MCU. And I thought that was, you know, a couple hits, a lot of misses in the original run. Really liked Civil War and Infinity War. I was not an Endgame fan at all. Really disliked that and kind of just gave up on Marvel after that. But DC, you know, I grew up more with Batman and Superman. So seeing them be a little bit better is nice, you know. Is it like amazing? No. But when's the last time we had an amazing superhero movie? It's been a long, long time. A long time. Okay. Back to Mondo. So I'm experimenting. Hey, what the heck am I going to do? How do I get them underground in a cave? I need something to happen. So here's what I was just working on this, like, before I was starting the stream. So this is all very conceptual right now. So they're walking. So it's an earthquake. I'm trying to do, like... I want it to be like a gas geyser eruption, like the ore veins or the mines are destabilized by the Imperial operations underneath. And so there's ground quakes, which is earthquakes in Star Wars, is what they call them. So I need that, like, chaos and the rocks falling from the sky, and I don't know how else to make it happen other than, like, an explosion on the ground. My only options are... have them teleport walking just underground, which it might be an option. It'll look odd. There's not a single clip of, like, the crew just, like, walking into a cave. So they would just be poof, they're underground, which I might be able to get away with that. I can't use the monster at all because the boat ship's not even here. Or I do a ground quake explosion and keep the chaos. So I was just working through that a couple hours ago. And then we're inside here where we are quickly. So I once they get inside, I was thinking, like, as it gets a little bit stabilized, somebody says, like, the Imperials must have destabilized them. The mining veins, blah, blah, blah. Something to explain what the ground quakes are caused by. So, whatever I decide to do, they're inside, they're moving. It drives me insane how many wipes are in these last 2 episodes. Like, what is this? That is so bad. That is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A 10 frame wipe. That is so freaking fast. And it looks horrible. It looks better just with a straight cut. They do this all the time, just these, like, insta wipes in here to, like, move them from one room to another. And it's like, dude, do some basic camera work. Set up your shots. Stop forcing me to get rid of your wipes. DC should be not goofy Marvel humor. I absolutely agree with that, yeah. Can there be humor? Sure. But it shouldn't be stupid over the top. Oh, yeah. Monsters are coming. Yeah. No, Superman definitely, when it missed, it was usually when it was trying to be comedic. Which I loathe the forced comedy moments. The fact that Marvel humor is a thing, that, like, nobody thinks it's funny. I've never met a single person in my life who's like, oh, I love the Marvel humor. Like, Avengers 1 had humor, and it was, for the most part, like, witty, using irony and other literary humor tools. It just devolved into, like, complete brainless slop. Like, the Fantastic Four trailer, oh my goodness, where he's like, oh, come on, thing, say the line, say the line. He's like, I'm not going to say the line. Like, say it, say the thing. And they try to, like, they do that 2 different times in the trailer. It's like in the beginning and at the end when Torch is riding his back or something, or carrying him. He's like, come on, it's time, say the thing. And it's like, oh my goodness, eventually he's going to say the thing, and it's going to just be like a dirt moment, or somebody, like, that's the Marvel humor that just is so obnoxious. Who on earth likes that? And DC tried to do it a few times in the Superman movie, and it did not land. It wasn't nearly as extreme as Marvel does it, though. But yes, I 100% agree. The DC should have dark, witty, slow-paced humor, not like these slapstick, knee-jerk comedy moments for 10-year-olds. Say the thing. No, that's not DC. If you're gonna do that kind of humor, it's gotta be more like Spider-Man. Like classic comic book Spider-Man, he's a cornball. Okay? I mean, he's like a high schooler, he's got too much confidence. He's quipping with his opponents. And then you see some dark comic book runs for Spider-Man 2 where, man, tone changes because things just got serious. And you get some character development in the old school ones. Yeah, you gotta be really careful with humor. Yeah. Can't stand what was revealed about Clark's Kryptonian parents. We got spoilers in the chat, people. But yes, without getting into spoilers, I was not a big fan of that either. It felt like Telltale Games would always do those like massive twists that just like kind of threw everything on its head. Like their Guardians of the Galaxy adaptation opens with the Guardians killing Thanos. Just like, oh crap, what do we do now? Their Batman adaptation, the video game is his parents are like funding the whole crime war. They're like super corrupt politicians and stuff. He finds out his parents are just as dirty as everybody else. It's like, I mean, those are more like what ifs. But yeah, the what if that was in the Superman movie, I wasn't a big fan of that. Just quick poll. How do I do this? Start a poll. Can I customize these? Okay. Let's throw this in here. Let you guys vote. Let me get some feedback. Should the Mandos like walk through a ground quake? Yes. Wake it up. No. Just cut to inside cave. Just want to get your thoughts on what I should do for that. What is like proper spoiler etiquette? How many weeks after something is out? Is it 2 weeks, I think, is like standard? If it's been 2 weeks, then it's like not considered bad moviegoer etiquette to talk about it. We're only, 5 days into Superman now? 6 days, so... I'll get more into spoilers in a couple weeks if people still want to talk about it. Okay, so they're inside. Let's get to working through some of this. I haven't really worked yet on anything. I moved so far ahead. I wanted to give an update on where I was. I'm not going to do a super long stream tonight either. Kind of just wanted to... It's been... 6 days since my last stream. Just wanted to show, hey, I'm cooking. We're making progress. Fix this up. Whoa. The heck is that? Why does that look so weird? That looks like a 2D graphic. What? Wait. What is going on here? What is that? Why is it changing shapes? Oh my goodness, Disney. What? It like overlaps his arm and his chest? It morphs shapes. Like every frame, it's manually tracked as... I don't understand the point of it. What is it? What the heck am I looking at? Oh! Is that supposed... Are these supposed to be blaster wounds? What is going on? Oh, more? What is this? Why does he just have a hole in his forearm all of a sudden? Look at it. I am so confused. I mean, this is just a VFX glitch on their end. I just don't know what they were even trying to accomplish. My initial guess is... Say, it's an overexposed light from their chest displays? No, because it like goes on their forearms and stuff. That's not overexposed. This is, look how rounded these lines are. This is like a VFX tracking thing. So what I can tell you is that part of their armor is practical effects and part of it is VFX. If I could find the trooper... They messed this up on a couple other ones. So, like, they, in real life, they have, like, big green stickers on their armor, and then they do, like, a track, hey, when you detect this color light, you know, change it, make it look like something else. So I wish I could find... They forgot to do the effects of one whole trooper. And he's got the stickers all over him. But, yeah, he's got a weird thing, too. That doesn't look too bad. That looks fine. It's not nearly... But that's what they're doing, is they've got, like, practical effects stickers on their armor on set. Which then... are supposed to be like auto replaced into these like glowing lights in VFX. So for whatever reason that one must have just glitched out. Yeah, I mean none of them look great. Like that doesn't look right. The whole tracking of what they tried to accomplish here was terrible. Some of it looks fine, but this is a very rudimentary job. There's his neck. So odd. In my opinion, this entire Mandalore thing goes on this whole battle, just in general, goes on way too long. And to me, when there's not good choreography, it's just, if it's just action for action's sake, I find it to be quite dull. And then it like numbs you to the action that is yet to come. So I will be making some trims to like the more boring moments. So probably like when they're all just like standing. I have so much combat work to do. I know I started re-editing this clip. It's so bad. To have him get captured and then break out like 2 minutes later is just brain dead. So I'm gonna be going through this whole thing. I need to make flashcards of every main moment and just completely reorganize. I mean, look how much work I've already done to this, cutting out like the very obviously dumb stuff. I've got like 100 cuts in here already. It's not nearly enough. Not even close. I gotta like, I haven't moved stuff around either. This is just the regular order, so I gotta like won't move around entire segments of this battle, because this base has no geography whatsoever. There's no consistent geography. Son of a gun. Somebody break the tie in a comment tomorrow. That's probably going to wrap it for me tonight. I more just wanted to hang out for a little bit, show off the work that's been done, show where I am going forward. So let me know if anybody has feedback on anything that's not just like, oh, I heard the sound wasn't smooth at 2645. I know. Thank you. I've got too many tabs open. Come on, somebody break the tie. You've got like 30 seconds to break the tie of this poll. Bum, 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 bum. I think that is about all I have to share tonight. So, yep, still need to do a big audio pass on, you know, this whole 5-minute section. And then I guess make a final decision on how to get them into the cave. Most everything else was, I think, sounding pretty good through this section, other than just deciding about the cave.
There, on the horizon.
Groundquake! To get him inside, yay or nay? Alright, somebody break the tie in a poll tomorrow. Other than that, thanks for joining, everybody. Good to hang out for a little bit. I wish the best and greatest things for the DCU and for you.